You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into another edition of the Locked On Rays podcast. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime. Voice memos preferred. Appreciated as well. LockedOnRays@gmail.com. We have another mailbag episode for you today, and we meant to read and check out this comment from Rhodes Conover on yesterday's, but we ran out of time, so we'll go ahead and brief it up here. Rhodes says, hello, I recently watched your episode on the Rays redevelopment, and it discussed the stadium project and associated economics. I live in Kansas City, and we just went through this exact discourse around a replacement for Kauffman Stadium. Well, that's good to know. I wasn't aware or privy to the details. I guess every pro team in sports across the land is looking for new fancy digs.
Wait. No, let's fix that statement. Every billionaire owner wants to get even more money in their fancy new digs. Look, you know what's insane to me is that, by the way, Rhodes, thank you so much for writing to us and for always being, there in the mailbags. I've always, even when I was a kid and had no bleeping clue where Kansas City was, I always loved that stadium. The fountains, the Jumbotron with the crown. I think it's like one of the coolest stadiums when you see it on TV. I think it's fantastic. And I've been told by people that are from Kansas City, that have lived in Kansas City and that have been in that stadium, that it's really cool. It's a really good atmosphere, especially in 2014, 2015. It was nuts. So it's crazy to me to think from the outside, like, oh no, they want to move somewhere else. But I guess, the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Well, they also want to cash in on some of the nearby surrounding development and redevelopment. Yeah. Although reading what they have going on in Kansas City, I think it's a little bit more messy, as they would have to purchase some land from private owners, whereas the Rays sitting right now will, assuming it gets approved, have a pretty sweet deal with the city and county, which, gun to your head, I know that's not the great terminology there, but does the Rays Stadium get approved by the city and county?
Well, we just had Colleen Wright, who's awesome in our show, and she gave us the lowdown. I'm feeling positive. I know there have been some tricklets of information after that episode came out that weren't so great, but still, I'm going to be positive about it. And yes, there's gonna be shovels in the ground by December 31st.
I agree. Do we know how much Stu is footing the bill for this thing? Do we have an exact number yet?
I think it was around 3 to 4.
That's it? $300 to $400 million?
Wait, you know what? I'm going to take that away. I don't know, and I don't want to say a number that might be incorrect.
Okay, I will just say this, that the Royals ownership group plans to invest more than $1 billion in private funding, and they are also leveraging a 0.3 cent sales tax from Jackson County. So that got approved on referendum, I suppose. So
so I'm seeing from the Sports Business Journal and the Tampa Bay Times, Sternberg saying Rays are expected to pay for half or more of the $1.2 billion stadium that would open in 2028. So it wasn't 3, 4, it's actually 6 or 7.
Still significantly lower than a billion.
So much money, bro.
Yeah.
That's so much money.
Yes, it is. We might have to talk to some Royals fans at Friday's game when we go.
We are going on Friday, a group of friends, and one of your old-timey friends from Kansas City as well.
Yeah, so I'll have to get the lowdown from him on what he thinks of the project there. All right, moving on to another question here from Quinlan Deegan. Not really a question, but a comment that, hey, don't uh, count out the playoffs yet. Even though the Rays have been struggling, there's still a lot of season left, and the wild card position is within reach. That is from Quinlan Deegan.
Quinlan, thank you so much for writing to us. We have never said otherwise. We've always said this team, although was playing very badly in April, the wild card is always on the table, and it still is. I believe after Tuesday evening's game, the Rays are sitting one game behind the Minnesota Twins for that last wild card spot. So, that's what happens when you lose 3 in a row and you have a negative 37 differential run scored. But regardless, yes, the wild card is still on the table. The division, I think, is always on the table.
Yeah, that's a pipe dream, though, at this point, based on what the Orioles and Yankees are doing.
Yeah, it would be very tough. It would be very, very tough. But you still got plenty of games against those head-to-head matchups. So nothing is off the table, Quinlan. Nothing is off the table. But obviously, it does look like the division is going to be way harder this year than in years past.
Yeah. Interestingly, Baseball Reference has the Rays at an 11% chance to make the playoffs, while Fangraphs has the Rays at roughly 43% to make the playoffs, and a very, very low shot to win the division. It's a runaway between the Yankees and the Orioles, of course. It's going to be a dogfight throughout the rest of the season for even a third wild card spot, because not only do you have the Twins and Rays competing, you have the Red Sox, the Rangers, Detroit. We can throw the Blue Jays in there. Maybe Houston turns things around. And I think it's safe to say that the Twins have an easier division to contend with, to rack up more W's than compared to the Rays at this moment in time. But like we have said consistently, the Rays, we hope, and based on the guys coming back, this should be a second half push. And you would hope that if they're sitting in that third, fourth, fifth wild card position, that they're somewhat active at the trade deadline to fill some needs and try to get themselves on the positive end of things. I mean, if we know anything about the Rays, they've made is it now 5 consecutive playoff appearances, 4 consecutive playoff appearances?
5.
So at least they know what it takes to get into the dance in comparison to some of these other teams as of late.
So you've decided on going out. Maybe you're going to a comedy show, baseball game, a basketball playoff game. Well, maybe it's comedy or theater. And I know that you're using Game Time because you are going to be saving so much money when you use the app Game Time. They've got last minute deals. So if you're a procrastinator, guess what? Game Time's perfect for you. Or if you want to save a little bit more money, you can use the zone deals, which is where you pick a zone and guess what? Game Time chooses the seats for you. And you always have what I love best. It's the panoramic view of your seat in the app before you buy, so you know what to expect. What am I going to be looking at? They have that for you. So today, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get 150 buckaroos in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. So good, I'll repeat it again. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and beyond. So go ahead, visit FanDuel.com/LOCKEDON, Locked On, to make every playoff shot count like the Indiana Pacers. FanDuel, they are America's #1 sportsbook. So good, I'll repeat it again and again. FanDuel.com/Locked On is the place to go. Also, be sure to visit FanDuel.com to look at all the odds that are out there. There's some really, really good stuff. I honestly wasted half my workday just looking at the FanDuel information out there. It is very enjoyable there. So check it out.
The raw talent and the proven talent that they have on this roster makes them automatically a playoff contender. Have they been playing like a playoff contender in the month and a half of baseball that we've seen? Not necessarily. They've been kind of mediocre. They've been 500. They've been average. But like you said, with the additions that should be coming further into the season, the Springs, the Boz, the Rasmussen, then you could see a little bit more of a better team. The only thing is, can Randy get it going? Can Yandy get it going? If those two guys can lit a match, then you should be looking at this team like, okay, they've got some pop and they can go further than what they've done so far.
Yeah. And you might get some guys knocking on the door from AAA, i.e. Carson Williams, i.e. Junior Caminero, which leads us into our next question from Craig Kurtzman. Craig says, love the show. Born and raised in the 813, but living in Las Vegas. Attend road games all summer for the Rays. Very cool there. What is the fear of losing Caballero or Palacios? The future to me is in Durham, in Junior, and others coming through the minors. Brandon Lowe, oh my gosh. He still hasn't been around long enough for me to pronounce his last name correctly. That's his fault, not mine. Brandon Lau, the door is closing soon on him. I think this season is really to build for 2025 with all arms hurt in absence of a guy who will never play again.
Well, Craig, thank you so much for writing to us. I'm glad that you found the pod and you're enjoying it. Well, we talked about the pitching logjam on Wednesday, so I'm not going to touch it too much. But if we go into the offensive side of things, yeah, Junior's going to come up, and Curtis Mead is down there, and Jonathan Aranda wants some at bats, even though he's already up there with the 26-man roster. Harold, I know people, he's always on the chopping block. I said this on X, on Twitter the other day. He's like Choi to me, Harold Ramirez. Like, he's always on the chopping block for all fans. And then there's the people that say, no, look at his splits. The splits are awful, or like, the splits are good this way. Oh, but he's a clubhouse guy. He provides so much in the clubhouse. And then ultimately, those two sides are irrelevant because they're just going to be surviving a whole season. And then the off season, it's when they probably get traded. So Harold, I think, is kind of like the new Choi. But Carson Williams, I don't see him making an impact until late 2025.
Okay. Well, Aram Layton may disagree with you because he is showing him some love based on the numbers that he is putting forth, hitting 346, 426, 631 with just a 24% strikeout rate, down 8% from his career average. And may I say that, well, this is in AA. His stance looks very reminiscent of Longo, but you might be right on that front. I guess the idea is to have him be the shortstop of the future. That's kind of the makings of it. And then when the Rays are ready to pull the trigger on him, what do they do with Caballero and others? My thought is the Rays would move off Brandon Lau, move Caballero to second, figure out what to do with Palacios, have him play all over the place, and insert Williams at short.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have the Caminero question and all that looming over. And I guess if it comes down to who are you going to keep, Palacios or Caballero, I'm kind of liking myself some Palacios long-term.
Lefty, I like that. I like the fact that he can play the outfield and second base. You could go that way. You could also put Richie in left field because Randy's out after this season.
That's true as well. He's starting to get a taste of
left field. So you can
that
put
side of
Richie
the
out
out.
in left field, and you have second base open for maybe an Isaac Paredes at second base. Junior takes third. Caballero now takes Walsey's spot from the last 3-4 years and goes by Taylor Walls, and Taylor Walls is no longer with the Rays, and now Caballero takes that role. Then you've got a situation where the DH first base situation is kind of like an Aranda, Yandy move. And I wouldn't dislike that. Carson Williams, obviously, at short.
Yeah.
It's not looking too bad. But I do think because Carson, even though he's killing it in Double-A, it seems to me that it would be very aggressive for the Rays to go Double-A, Triple-A, and then MLB in back-to-back really high picks. Like Junior did that. He skipped Triple-A last year, by the way. And where is he now? Triple-A. So I don't think that they're going to do the same Junior Caminero type of deal with Carson. I think they're going to do Double-A. You're raking, you're killing it. Okay, now we go to Triple-A and take your time, do that thing. Then you get to the major leagues.
Yeah, you don't want to stunt his growth and deal with the after effects of all that. But hey, if we're, again, don't want to be prospect hugging, but it does look pretty cool what the future could have in store. Yeah. And like you said, moving guys around. Yandy Diaz won't be in a Rays uniform forever. So maybe that opens up a maneuver for Paredes to move to first, perhaps. And maybe have more athletic middle infielders there too.
Exactly. And then at that point, Paredes, again, is a Super 2. So when he gets expensive and Yandy's already gone, Isak takes his spot. When Isak gets too expensive, guess what? There's another Isak that gets there, and it's Xavier Isaac who can take that spot too. So, I mean, really, honestly, the infield is looking rather thick with options.
Indeed, it is. Great question there, Craig. All right, this final one we'll get to is a voice memo.
You have got to use Price Picks. I mean, it's the time to do it. NBA playoffs are on. I know Kevin's excited. Kevin, you're a big basketball guy. Are you not excited?
Oh, yeah. I am ecstatic that my Indiana Pacers, not a bandwagon fan here, they're going to win the whole dang shebang.
And if they do, guess what? Hem and Trisha Whitaker are going to be so gosh darn happy. And you can be happy too if you use Price Picks today. So download the app, use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100, or what we call a Benjamin. I will say it again. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB. For a first deposit match of up to $100. Download Price Picks today.
Saved it for last from our buddy Jack Voorhees. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, Ulysses. It's Locked On Superfan Jack Voorhees calling with a couple thoughts. The first one, 3 words. Kevin Kelly, closer. I really like it. Could this be a permanent role, something he moves into on a regular basis? Well, I tell you what, if you do it like that, I don't mind it at all. Second thought, Pete Fairbanks, Mr. 8th Inning. Is something a demotion if you flourish there? I don't think so. He's been great these last couple 8th inning appearances. So I don't mind seeing these roles switch around. Jason Adam as a closer, also pretty good. You know, the bullpen's finally beginning to come around. But like I said, Kevin Kelly closer and Pete Fairbanks as Mr. 8th Inning. I like it. I like it. This could be a start of something beautiful. Thoughts? Raise up.
That's awesome.
All right, Ulysses, what do you have to say with that?
That's awesome. Thank you, Jack, for providing always really good voice memos. Kevin Kelly closer, huh? I think the Rays are going by committee this year, by necessity and by also, the performance in the beginning of the year by Fairbanks wasn't optimal, and then he got hurt and all that. And we've been accustomed to the committee, closer by committee for a long time with the Rays. I mean, wasn't it 2020 that they had 12 guys? I think, get a
Yeah,
save.
in the contracted season, they had pretty much everybody get a save, handing saves out like Oprah.
So yeah, I mean, is Kevin Kelly going to be the closer? I wouldn't think so. I agree though with you, Jack. I don't think it would be a demotion to get put into the 8th inning if you're succeeding there. It's like, where are you doing your best? And I don't think it's a demotion either. I mean, you could still argue that it is, but being that Fairbanks already signed a contract,
Right.
It's not a demotion. Like, you're fine. You've got your millions now. You're secured. And when it comes time for free agency, when that comes, guess what? If a team wants to make you a closer, you already have that experience that you are a closer. So I don't think it would be a demotion at all for Pete Fairbanks. And it seems that Pete really is a team guy, that he just,
Right.
hey, give me the ball when you need me, and I'll get the outs. And again, in that Boston series, I believe he had to face the heart of the order, 3-4-5, 6, something like that. That I think gets the juices even, going harder when instead of 7-8-9, right? I mean, I know the last 3 outs are a thing, but like, in order of point of pride is like, they're giving me the ball with the toughest guys at the dish. I think that means something.
Right. No, I'm with you there. The old adage is the last 3 outs are the hardest to get, but maybe the most important outs come sometime in the 7th inning or 8th inning, depending on what the score is and depending on the situation and who you're facing. Again, facing 2-3-4, 3-4-5 versus 7-8-9. So I think that's a valid point for sure. As far as Kevin Kelly being a midterm, long-term closer, I'm okay with a spot here and there. I don't know. Maybe it's cliche and hackneyed, but I like my closer to have some intimidation, some mound presence, some scary factor. And we know that Pete Fairbanks has that with the crazy eyes, being 6'6", being built up, and getting the ball to 98, 99 miles per hour. Just a hard thrower, if you will. Where Kevin Kelly is not that at all. He gets by with movement and doing crazy things with the sinker and side arming and all that stuff. But look, to Jack's point, Kevin Kelly has done really good things for the Rays. He induces ground balls. He doesn't walk guys. He gets great extension, doesn't give up hard contact. The issue, I guess, if we're going to pinpoint something, and this is something that I like from a closer, is strikeouts in swings and misses. Don't even give guys the chance to make contact with the baseball. Put it in play wherever.
It's when you say that he doesn't walk people, Kevin, it's stupid low, the walk percentage that he has this year in 2024. 1.4% walk rate. I mean, that's nasty. A whip of 0.96. If you're making the argument for Kevin Kelly, the closer, those are two very important things. What's your whip? Are you walking guys?
Yeah.
And he's not doing either of those things. He's not walking guys, and he's keeping that whip low. He does have a 23% K rate, which, I think you would like that to be a little bit higher. Like you said, if you're closer, you want a little bit more swings and misses, than 23%. But it's not like it's nothing. I think that's respectable. But I do agree with you. The domineering presence of a closer, I think it's still important. Maybe it's not, but it does seem like, hey, the last 3 outs, if they're the most difficult to get, it's because also who is on the mound and what they project. Nick Anderson, that was a scary dude.
Yes.
Troy Percival, scary dude.
Kyle Farnsworth,
scariest dude.
Yes. He'll fight anybody.
Yeah, he'll fight literally anybody. So I think there's that. Kevin Kelly, he just looks like an awesome dude that you would like to have, beers with.
He looks like a 8th grade Catholic boy.
He looks like a really good math teacher.
Yeah, for sure. So real quickly here, just piggybacking off what Jack is saying right now, as of today, give me your podium 3, 2, 1 of relievers you trust the most in a challenging situation, i.e. a closer situation.
Man, I mean, Jason Adam just had a blow up against Boston, but he was pretty stable before then.
Yeah.
Kevin Kelly started kind of slow, but then has gotten it on, and then lately,
everybody's kind of had their moments.
Everybody's had their whoopsie. Fairbanks. I mean, that he started awful this season, but then he's been really, really great. I think
we thought coming into the season it would be Phil Maton in the amount of money that he's getting paid.
Well, that was a miss so far. I'll go Fairbanks first.
Okay.
I'll be super simple. I'll go scratch. No, you know what? No, I'm not. Fairbanks, Kelly, Adam.
Okay. What about a healthy Poche, or he just has not shown enough this season?
Well, yeah, he's been hurt, so we really haven't been able to see that.
I mean, it is pretty telling that. Again, I know the bullpen has started to come around and then having a little bit of a step back here, but that we're actually having to think about this and go through, well, this guy, he had a dust up. The bullpen is getting better. The bullpen is getting better lately, which is nice. Finally. It is nice. Hey, maybe your boy Garrett Clevenger might be added to your podium
sometime. There you go. I like that. You didn't mention
maybe he's
him
a
as an option
3B right now.
Is he an option? Can I put him in my podium? Or
but you got to take somebody out.
I'll take your pick.
Okay, take everybody out to insert Garrett Clevenger.
Yeah, put 3 Garrett Clevengers right now. My goodness.
See, now that's a guy. I know it's rare to have lefty closers, but there have been some in past history. But I feel like he has enough of a beefy guy, and he throws hard. So
2 Hall of Famers, Josh Hader and Jake McGee.
Yep. And soon, did you say Billy Wagner, soon to be?
Oh, hello. By the way, Hall of Famers on my book, not on the BBWAA.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right. Great stuff there from all our listeners. Keep them coming. LockedOnRays@gmail.com, or you can tweet or DM us directly there. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.